Hello my friends, today we will discuss about history of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, known as CJNG, emerged in the early 2010s from the remnants of the Mencho cartel in Mexico's state of Jalisco, initially led by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho. The group gained notoriety for its rapid rise, brutal violence, and sophisticated operations. CJNG began as an armed wing loyal to the Sinaloa cartel during the Mexican drug war but broke away, asserting independence and seeking control over strategic territories. Their expansion was fueled by aggressive offensives against rival groups, direct confrontations with security forces, and the cultivation of a reputation for extreme ruthlessness, often displaying bodies in public as warnings. They developed a diversified criminal portfolio including large-scale drug trafficking, particularly methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, and increasingly fentanyl to the United States, Europe, and Asia. CJNG also engaged in extortion, oil theft, arms trafficking, and money laundering, using front businesses to legitimize profits. The group's operations were characterized by military-style discipline, the use of armored vehicles, drones, and high-powered weaponry. Their territorial reach spread beyond Jalisco into at least half of Mexico's states, making them one of the most dominant and feared cartels. CJNG was also known for leveraging propaganda, releasing slickly produced videos showing armed columns and pledging community support, while simultaneously using extreme terror tactics to eliminate rivals. Mencho remained one of the most wanted fugitives by U.S. and Mexican authorities, with a multi-million-dollar bounty on his head. By the mid-2020s, CJNG had entrenched itself deeply in Mexico's criminal landscape, challenging the long-standing dominance of the Sinaloa cartel and sparking some of the bloodiest conflicts in the country's modern history. Their rise reflected a shift in cartel dynamics favoring speed, aggression, and technological adaptation over traditional networks, cementing their status as one of the most dangerous organized crime syndicates in the world. CJNG's origins trace back to the aftermath of the 2010 capture of Oscar Orlando Nava Valencia, leader of the Mencho cartel, which left a power vacuum. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, who had experience as a former municipal police officer and ties to drug smuggling networks, capitalized on the chaos. Initially branding themselves as Los Mata Zetas, the Zeta Killers, CJNG sought public approval by targeting members of Los Zetas, one of Mexico's most feared cartels at the time. This early vigilante-style campaign earned them temporary support from some communities and facilitated recruitment. As CJNG consolidated power, they adopted a hybrid approach combining violent enforcement with strategic alliances and economic infiltration. They aggressively recruited ex-military personnel, providing advanced training and discipline that rivaled official security forces. Their firepower included rocket-propelled grenades, .50 caliber rifles, and drones equipped with explosives, which they used in both urban and rural combat. They also built clandestine methamphetamine superlabs capable of producing tons of product monthly, turning them into one of the largest suppliers to U.S. markets. CJNG's brutality became infamous, involving mass killings, decapitations, and public dismemberments to send messages, yet they simultaneously invested in social programs within certain territories, handing out food, sponsoring local events, and portraying themselves as protectors against rival groups. This combination of fear and pseudo-community outreach allowed them to cement control in areas where the state's presence was weak or corrupt. Their conflict with the Sinaloa cartel escalated after the arrest of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, as both factions vied for dominance in high-value trafficking corridors. CJNG's clashes with government forces became more frequent and audacious, including ambushes on police convoys and attacks on military installations. By the mid-2020s, U.S. agencies classified CJNG as one of the most powerful and dangerous criminal organizations globally, with operations extending into Central and South America and distribution networks embedded in multiple continents. Despite heavy law enforcement pressure and targeted operations to capture or kill El Mencho, CJNG adapted quickly, decentralizing leadership, empowering regional commanders, and continuing to expand their influence both domestically and internationally. Their ability to combine violence, business acumen, and propaganda has ensured their survival in one of the most dangerous criminal landscapes in the world. CJNG's organizational structure evolved into a loose yet highly coordinated federation, allowing different factions to operate semi-independently while still paying tribute to the central leadership. This decentralization made it harder for authorities to dismantle the group entirely. Even if a key regional boss was killed or captured, local operations could continue with minimal disruption. In some areas, CJNG integrated deeply with municipal governments, bribing officials, infiltrating police forces, and leveraging corruption to protect their supply routes. Their international expansion became more sophisticated through partnerships with South American cocaine suppliers and Asian chemical exporters, particularly for precursor chemicals used in fentanyl and methamphetamine production. These partnerships allowed CJNG to bypass intermediaries, reduce costs, and maximize profits. On U.S. soil, they used an intricate network of shell companies, legitimate businesses, and third-party traffickers to launder billions of dollars annually. The cartel's propaganda machine remained a vital tool. Professionally produced videos showed convoys of armored trucks, heavily armed fighters, and banners pledging loyalty to El Mencho. They often released these videos right before major attacks or territorial takeovers, signaling their strength and sowing fear among rivals and local populations. They also exploited social media to monitor rivals, recruit members, and control the narrative in contested territories. CJNG's rise brought unprecedented levels of violence to regions like Michoacan, Guanajuato, and Colima states where homicide rates soared due to turf wars. Their most intense rivalries included battles with the Sinaloa cartel, the Knights Templar, and local self-defense militias. These conflicts often displaced thousands of civilians, leading to humanitarian crises in rural communities. By 2025, CJNG had become a symbol of both the resilience and adaptability of Mexican organized crime. El Mencho, despite being in hiding for years and reportedly suffering from health problems, maintained an almost mythical status among his followers. The U.S. Department of Justice continued to place him among the most wanted fugitives in the world, with a $10 million bounty for his capture. Even with constant military raids, asset seizures, and high-profile arrests of lieutenants, CJNG's decentralized model, brutal enforcement tactics, and deep-rooted influence in both the underworld and legitimate commerce ensured its continued dominance.